All right. So this is a pretty cool project that happened to me. I came home just a couple of days before New Year's, and I saw, ooh, shit, somebody crashed into my bus, and I could see the bumper just hanging off, and the license plate is smashed in. And this is a couple days before New Year's. I've got party bus rides scheduled for New Year's. So I'm freaking out. I'm thinking there was a hit and run, probably a drunk driver. And then my neighbor walks up to me and he goes, "Hey man, I saw who hit your vehicle. I was up the other night and I got a recording of it." And so he shows me on his cell phone this really grainy video, but it kind of just shows like a drunk driver driving some kind of SUV who comes around the corner and goes bang. And then he says they stay there for 30, 45 minutes and somebody comes and picks them up in the middle of the night. And then like 2 hours later, the cops come, and then 30 minutes later, a tow truck comes and tows it away. It had been stuck to the bumper inside the back of the bus. So with one day to get this thing going before it's time to drive it up to the mountains with a group in it, the bumper is smashed totally underneath the bus. So I found a tow strap and put it around a fire hydrant and the end of the bumper and just kind of gave it gas until I pulled it out till it was at least straightish. And then I used some poster board and just bolted it straight onto the fiberglass, thinking, "Yeah, it looks better." Then I knew I needed to get it fixed. So the first thing I did was I took the bumper off and I looked at what there was to bolt things to. I found there's a frame with some holes in it, which is something solid I could bolt some 2x4s to. So put a sideboard across and bolted it in there tight and put it just up against where the fiberglass was going to go. And then I put another piece of wood, and I just bolted it all together until there was some gaps. So I filled that in with some foam, glued it in there just to make the shape of the bus on the outside so the fiberglass has something to sit on. And I just used a knife to cut it real smooth into the exact angle that the fiberglass needed to be. And then I laid the fiberglass on, which is messy as hell. I don't recommend doing it, but if you have to, it works, and it dries remarkably fast. 5 minutes and you can't even work with it anymore. So then in 2 hours I got out the grinder, grinded off all of this extra junk and put it back down to the level of where the bus should be. And then there's a bunch of divots and holes and flat spots. So I went and got some bondo and I filled in all the divots and holes with bondo. So after I filled it in with bondo, sanded it down at least 3 times, it finally looked good enough that it was the right shape, and I was able to just put a quick can of spray paint on it. And a solution for the bumper was a 2x10, 8 foot, that I just cut and rounded and bolted on and painted with some paint I had in my house. So I ended up fixing this entire thing for $90, something like that. And it was a fun project to work on in the meantime. But what do you think? Did it look okay?